Are we live? I think we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's productivity session. My name is Laya, for those of you that don't know me, and also for those of you that know me. I'm still Laya. So, welcome. I hope that you're well. Before we get started, please let me know if the audio and the video are working well. This is a different system that I usually use for sprints. Like, there's no mic. I can't attach a mic to Substack Lives. So let me know if the audio is working well enough. And feel free to check in the chat. Let me know how you're doing today. Introduce yourself. Let me know where you're tuning in from. It is a rainy day here in Barcelona. It's actually been super rainy this month, which is actually kind of a nice change. Last year it hardly rained, so I'm super stoked. And it's the perfect time for me to chill for a couple of hours and write with you all. So, hello, Laura. It's so good to see you here. Welcome, welcome. How's your day? Yeah, we're going to give some time for folks to join in, to arrive. And in this time, feel free to, chit chat. And also, I will take this time to kind of explain to you how this session is going to work today. The way we're going to be dividing the time is in Pomodoro Sprints. If you've ever done Pomodoros before, if you love Pomodoros, feel free to put in a chat, a tomato emoji in the chat. That's what I was trying to say. And yeah, I'm super happy that you're here. The Pomodoro method invites us to be more intentional with our time. So the way it works is that you choose a chunk of time. Today we'll be here for perhaps an hour and a half or so, maybe 2 hours, who knows. And the idea is to actually divide the time between focus sprints and breaks. In the focus sprint, you can do whatever it is that you want. You could write, draw, study, work, clean your home, organize something, make a to-do list. It doesn't really matter. And then you take a break where you just move away from the task, from the project, and you let yourself just relax for a little bit. A lot of people may find that theory sounds like counterproductive, right? Like taking breaks so often. And personally, I find that it's one of the best ways to not only stay productive and connected to my creativity, but also find balance in my life. Tuning in from London. Nice, Laura. Super sunny. What? That is so funny that it's sunny in London and it's rainy in Barcelona, In a cafe working on some PhD things. Nice. Before meeting up with some friends. That sounds like a lovely evening. So I'm happy that you're joining today, whether you're here the entire time or just a little bit. Know that this live stream will be reposted later on today into my Substack. So if you miss any of it, or if you are here for a few minutes and you're like, man, I'd love to stay, but I can't, that's all right. You're going to be able to do this later on when the live stream or when the replay is up. So, all right. So, if you're joining us and you want to work on some projects, I would love to know what it is that you're going to be working on. Laura already shared that they're working on PhD stuff. I'm going to continue working on my novel. Yesterday was incredibly productive for me. In my morning pages, I actually took some time to kind of journal about the end of winter. By the way, happy equinox, happy spring. If you haven't yet, you may want to read my latest post here in Substack. It came out today. And it talks a little bit about the energy of the equinox and some journaling exercises. So, yeah. What are you going to be working on today? What projects are you trying to tackle? Also, we're going to do the traditional method of Pomodoro today, which is 25 minutes on and then 5 minutes off. Keep in mind that that's just one way to do it. I invite you, before you ever do Pomodoro Sprints, if you're kind of new to it or you're re-exploring it or whatever, is to take the time to actually consider what task are you going to be working on. Also notice, how are you feeling physically, mentally, energetically, right? And then choose a length of time, a length of focus that actually works for you. Does that make sense? Sometimes, like for example, today I was doing a lot of, actually yesterday in the morning, I was doing a lot of video editing. For that, I just want to get it done. So usually I know that in 2 25-minute sprints, I have it done. So that's I do 25. Sometimes when I'm editing my novel, like I will be doing today, I also like to do 25s. But for example, if I'm reading, like sometimes I like to use Pomodoros to read, then I like to do 45 because I like to go a little bit longer. Just keep in mind that if you do a longer sprint, you should potentially also do a longer break. Does that make sense? Hello, Greg. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? All right, friends. So, yeah, if you want to let me know what you're going to be working on, consider that it won't only be a way to keep yourself accountable, but it can also be a way to inspire others that may be here live or maybe watching this in the future. And they're like, man, this Pomodoro thing sounds good, but what could I work on? Again, I have used these for writing, for editing video. I use these when I'm doing house chores and I'm kind of procrastinating. I'm like, all right, it's just a 25-minute sprint. You can use them to read, to draw, whatever you want. The point is to try to be intentional with the focus time. Yeah? Does that sound good? All right. So we're going to be using my fabulous cube timer today. And what I'll do is set the timer for 25 minutes. And then once it beeps, we'll meet again here. I think the audio is pretty good today. I don't think there's a lot of noise going on outside right now. So I usually leave the microphone unmuted so that we're also kind of doing body doubling and we're almost feeling like we're maybe in the same space. If you've never heard of body doubling, it's this concept of mirror neurons, right? Like if you see me see a thing, maybe you also want to do the thing. Yeah. So if I'm here typing, it might inspire you to type. So you will be hearing typing noises, writing noises, page flips, just the regular stuff. Yeah. Of course, if that bothers you, just feel free to lower the volume. If there's a lot of noise, I will make sure to mute the mic. But I will put in the chat at what time we'll be returning so that if you got confused or your connection kind of like went out or whatever, if you're here live, of course, then you'll know when to return. Does that sound good? Working on a Medium article. Fun. More research right now, I guess. Research is a big part, I feel, of writing articles, depending on what we're writing about. Yeah, sometimes it can get a little bit, you know what I mean? But you got this. Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad you're here. Hopefully, um, creating in company and in community will help you feel a little bit in the flow. Yeah, I know it helps me a lot. Like I was saying yesterday, I made a little bit of a schedule and I actually got through 2 chapters of my book when in truth my goal right now, my intention is to get through 1 chapter a day, and I did 2.5 yesterday. So I was like, okay, and I took the evening off. I relaxed, and it's all because I decided to show up to my Pomodoro sprints, right? And like really organize my time and be like, okay, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours after lunch, that's it. I don't have to do any more. If I can focus properly during that time, then I can be done and find that balance. Yeah. All right. So, are you all ready for our first sprint? Sometimes in this community, we first do a 10-minute sprint to kind of warm up, maybe grab anything that you may need, make a to-do list. If you kind of stumble upon this and you're like, I'm not really sure what I want to work on, like I really want to join, but what do I work on? So sometimes we do a 10-minute sprint, or sometimes we dive right into a 25-minute. So I would love to know, please let me know in the chat if you want to start with 10 minutes warm-up sprint or 25. But either way, start to collect anything that you may need today. Today I have my laptop, I have a notebook, and I also, obviously, I have some of my fountain pens, several of them. Timer. My drink of choice today is just plain water, which, again, reminder to drink a little bit of water. Yay. And I also have the manuscript of my novel in paper. This one in particular is the one that has all these notes from from my editor. So it's really interesting to go through as I'm rewriting some of it, you know, because I have my own notes and their notes. So it's quite great. And then I make sure that my phone right here is not available. Ways in which you can do this. Of course, you can put it on mute and you can put it in another room. You can also put it on airplane mode, right? If it's something that distracts you. You can also use, there are certain apps that you can use where like some of them grow a tree, or I think there's other ones that like they grow like, I mean, I guess they don't grow it, but like you keep like a little bird alive or something. The one that I like to use, it grows plants, you know? So that's a way to keep your phone out of commission for a little bit, unless you're using it for the live stream, of course. And yeah, I think that's it. If you have any questions, is the time to ask them. Laura says 25 minutes. I'm down with 25. That sounds great. So I'm going to go ahead and set the timer. I'm going to put my phone over here and I'm going to set the timer to 25 minutes for us. Yeah. All right. All right. Timer is set to 25 minutes. So join me in just centering for a moment before we get started. So make a close spine, relax your shoulders, lengthen your neck. And if you want to, just take a moment to move your head right and left. Look up, look down. And eventually close your eyes, maybe relaxing the hands onto your lap, or maybe bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Take a deep breath in through your nose, letting it expand into the belly, the rib cage, and the chest. Open your mouth and let go. Again, inhale through the nose, noticing the breath entering the body. Let it go. And just take a moment here to consider what you showed up to do. To plant a seed of intention of how you want to move through the next 25 minutes. Remembering to keep compassion, kindness, and love for yourself at the top of the list, no matter what happens. Breathe in. And breathe out. Release your hands. Flutter your eyes open if you close them. Grab your project. And let's start. See you all in 25 minutes. Good luck. All right, my friend, bring yourself to a pausing or stopping point. I'm setting our time for a 5-minute break. And in this 5 minutes, of course, feel free to take care of yourself, drink some water, move around. If you're lucky enough to be somewhere where it's sunny or you can open a window, just get some fresh air. The intention is just to separate yourself from the project for just 5 minutes. Again, sometimes this may feel counterproductive, and this may mean that you want to do longer sprints. Um, but there is a benefit in taking a break. So I invite you to take a break with me. And if you feel like it, connect with me on the chat. Let me know how this 25-minute sprint went for you. It was super productive for me. I sent out some paperwork that I needed to send out before 5 p.m. and I have 20 minutes to spare. So I'm really glad. And then I continued editing chapter 5, scene 1 of my manuscript. I have 47 or 48 days left. I give myself an extra week anyway. And my novel has 43 chapters. So I feel like I'm in a really good rhythm. You know what I mean? So anyways, how was this sprint for you? And if you're doing this in the future, if you're doing the replay, feel free to put in the chat how these sprints work for you, if they're helpful, if 25 minutes is the length that works for you, or if you have another preferred length. I would like to play with different lengths in the next few weeks as we do more Pomodoro sprints here. So stay tuned for that. And don't forget to drink your water, whether you have a cute cat cup or not. He is incredibly cute, though. But, anyways, we have about 3 minutes left of our break. Super productive for you. That's great. Great to be in the call and have the reminder for the break. Yeah. Yeah, good to move around. That is such a good point. That's why I'm doing a little bit of twisting and stretches because I'm not going to get up between during the breaks, basically because I'm here with y'all. But usually I would stand up, move around a little bit, even if it's like shaking your body a bit, if you're able to, and if it feels all right, or doing a couple neck stretches. Just know that at the end of today's session, whether we do one more sprint or two more sprints, there will be some yoga stretches. That's how I like to end all the sessions, to once again add another layer of balance into the productivity and the creativity time. So I hope that you will stick around and join me for that as well. You had to go out and come back? I wonder why. Like, do you mean like it was glitching or something, Jackie? I wonder. Technology, you know what I mean? Does what it can. But I'm glad you were able to come back in. Welcome back. So, yeah, we have a couple of minutes left. I think I'm going to continue editing this chapter. And, if I finish this chapter today, great. If it doesn't, that's fine. Oh, it was frozen? Was it frozen for everyone else as well? I wonder. I have it open here on my laptop as well, and I kind of keep an eye on it, and it seemed fine on my end, but you never know. Thank you for letting me know. Your consultation didn't show, so you're emailing her your reschedule, so I get to say. So, let me know how you feel about this. So I also have a calendar where people can book like a 15-minute consultation, like for starting, like if they want to start projects or, chat with me about anything. And I kind of have this thing to where like, if you book one and you don't show up, like that's it. Cause that's enough for me to know that like, we're not going to work well together, but that's just me. Of course, if they reach out in the future or whatever, I'll reconsider, but like, I don't take any extra step. Like if you don't show up, like I have enough information. I don't know. Does anybody else function that way? Or do you just like reschedule it? Of course, if like, they message me and they tell me, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, that's a different thing. But if they just don't show up, I'm like, it's like, I don't like to take people's time, but I also don't like my time taken. I know I feel like that. Normally, maybe that's confirmation. Yeah, I have noticed, and again, feel free to chime in and with your experience. But for me, I've noticed that if I ever do go out of my way to like for those types of cases, it never ends up working out because we just don't align. It's like all you have to do is show up to this one thing you scheduled. We can't do that. We ain't gonna work well because I'm all about like showing up. You know what I mean? I don't know. I also know that it's kind of a hard boundary, but it's what works for me for work. You know what I mean? So that's what I do. But with that being said, end of our 5 minute break. Are you all ready for another 25-minute break? Would you like one? Does that sound good? I'm absolutely down because I really want to keep writing. Um, I'm only what? No wait. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm like a paragraph away from finishing the part that I have written down, but I have to like copy paste from the old manuscript and add more things. It's like there's no way that this chapter is this short. All right. All right. Okay, friends, I'm going to set the timer for us. Remember, we'll be here for 25 minutes. If you feel like it, let me know in the chat what project you're going to be working on. I'm working on my urban, cozy, contemporary novel, finishing the last draft. So, super stoked. But consider putting it in the chat so that you can also inspire others. All right, my friends, timer is set to 25 minutes. I will also put in the chat when we'll meet back here so that in case that the screen freezes or that like you have to step away for whatever reason, you know what time to return for our break. So emails right now. Well, best of luck, everybody. Whatever you're working on, you got this. Long spine, relax your shoulders, deep breath in, let it go. Happy productivity. See y'all in 25 minutes. Good luck.
All right, all right. Wow, that was a fast 25 minutes, my friends. How are you doing? Let's bring ourselves to a pausing or stopping point and let's reconnect. I see that some of y'all joined while we were sprinting, which is super cool. Welcome, welcome. I see that Jennifer joined. Hello, happy spring equinox. Yes, 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 yes. I've been wanting to do Tuesday and Thursday here. And lately it's aligned that I had like appointments put on those days. Like next Thursday I have a shoot all day, so like I have to be at the shoot. But I'm gonna try my best to do Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday and or Thursday. Does that make sense? Got so much done. I feel that I finished chapter 5, my friends. I actually like done finished chapter 5, so I feel super super happy. um yeah, I'm glad that it was a productive sprint for you all.
This brings me to the question: would you like to do a 5 minute break and do one more sprint, or would you like to kind of like call it in the next few minutes and like do a little bit of stretching? I'm happy with either. There'll be, I have a little bit of time, so I could totally do one more sprint if y'all are down, or otherwise we can just wrap it up. Either way, let me know. Oh, thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Laura. Yay! I feel super happy because I get to change the color tab of the chapter to purple, which means it is finished. Edit ribbon, purple, done. Moving on. Chapter 5. Next. You're down for one more? Cool. Well, Jackie, if you have to go soon, that's totally fine. Remember that I will take some time to edit it a little bit and add some decent words to the post. But I will be posting this live stream here on Substack. So if you are like, I would like to do this, but I don't have the time or whatever, just remember that you can just do the recording. And if you're here already doing the recording, if you're in the future, feel free to engage in the comments. Let us know, let me know, and the community know how the sprints are going for you, what your favorite part is, what length you like. Just feel free to engage whether you're here live or not, because it always helps me create better offerings for you all. You love the color change? Yeah, for real. I use like a writing software, and basically I can make like index cards with like little descriptions of each chapter and whatnot, and then I tag. So I have each character, because I have 2 points of view, tagged in their own colors. So like one of the characters is yellow, the other one's green. And then when a chapter is being edited, the tag is blue. And when a chapter is done, the tag is purple. So that's kind of what works for me. And then if an episode or a chapter has to be rewritten completely, then it's red. So yeah, so that's kind of what I do. It helps a little bit. It is satisfying, not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm glad that this last sprint worked for you all. I'm looking forward to doing one more because guess what? I'm gonna start chapter 6 because why the fuck not? You know. So the software that I use, I mean, again, just disclaimer, it is paid software, and you can basically do the same thing with Google Docs, which is free. But this software is called Dabble, Dabble. That's the one that I like to use. Yeah, that's the thing. You can do it in a spreadsheet. You can do it all sorts of ways. I do participate in NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month, or I have participated the last few years. And one of the things, if you win, which means you finish the project that you said you were going to finish, your word count, one of the things that they offer is like really big discounts on writing stuff. And one of them is writing software. So this is how I ended up getting this one because I won NaNoWriMo last year, and so I think it was incredibly discounted, and so yeah, so I stuck to it. It's software that I like. It's simple, and what I like about it is that it works offline, so I don't have to be connected to the internet to work on it. And yet when it catches internet, it saves it to the cloud, so I know that it's safe, even though I make copies every other day, because save your work, save your work, save your work. That's how I feel about it. All right, let's see. So we only have 1 minute and 19 seconds before the next sprint. So if you're just joining us and you want to jump in, know that we'll be doing our last 25-minute sprint of the day. What can you do in those 25 minutes? I don't care, but you should. The point is to be intentional, whether you're drawing, writing, studying, working, cleaning something, cooking, reading, relaxing, whatever it is, the point is to be as intentional as you possibly can during those 25 minutes. If you get distracted, though, be kind to yourself, love yourself, just notice. It's information. Yeah? Does that make sense? All right, cool. All right, so I'm going to work on chapter 6, my friends. I'm super excited. The nice thing too is that like every other episode changes characters, so it's not boring. You know what I mean? Like I can it's really nice because I'm like, oh, okay, I'm writing about the other person now, which is a slightly different timeline. So it helps my brain stay creative and not feel like I've been writing the same thing for 2 years, which I have, but it helps it stay fresh. So, all right, my friends, are you all ready for this? I may step away for a moment during this sprint, but do not fret. I will return. Know that I will be putting the time that we come back in the chat. So, like, if the connection was wobbly, or like if you step away for whatever reason, um, just you'll know what time to come back to end the sprint. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. I'm excited for me too. I'm super stoked. It's to the point where like I wake up in the morning and I'm so excited to be able to sit down and do what I love, which is write. It's I don't know. It seems slightly surreal. And it's amazing to get to also do it with you all. It has felt like the most supportive thing. I really hope that every writer has some sort of community like this. Like, being a writer is lonely in a way, but I don't feel lonely. I feel like I have you all, so it feels super good. I appreciate you all for being here. All right, 25 minutes are now on the clock. Are you all ready for this? Tall spine, relax your shoulders. Let's take a deep breath in, sigh out. Happy productivity. See you all in 25 minutes. Good luck. All right, my friends. That marks the end of our third 25-minute Pomodoro Sprint. Bring yourself to a pausing or stopping point. Save your work. Important. Save your work if it's work that you can save, of course. And let's come back to the space if you feel like it. Reconnect a few minutes, chit chat about our progress, how you're feeling, how beneficial or not this session was for you. And then we'll close with a few yoga stretches to bring a little bit of energy into the body after this session. So quick again. I feel that I kept going. I started editing chapter 6 and I've gotten through a few paragraphs. Again, all I had to do today was one chapter, which I did. Granted, it was probably the shortest chapter I have edited so far. And that's why I felt good starting the next one. But, super helpful. Yay! I'm so glad. Yeah, helpful for me as well. That's why I wasn't too concerned throughout the day today about going out to write. I did go out. I had a coffee. I did some doodles. I did take some notes about things I wanted to add to the novel. But I knew that I would have this space in the afternoon and that I would get the work done because I do every single time I show up and I write. It's not so much about being inspired, it's to me about showing up because, like I often say, action creates motivation and not the other way around. It takes the action to sit down in front of the project and do the thing. That's the motivation. That's the inspiration, I think. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you feel that. Let me know if you disagree. um because a lot of people feel like like you have to be in the right state of mind, you have to be in the right place. Yes, it's much better if I have all the right tools and I'm in the perfect situation, and yet I have decided that creativity is not only my birthright, but it's what I want to do with my time and with my energy. So it is up to me to make it a priority. It is up to me to sit down in front of my laptop or in front of a notebook and write, because this is what I do. I write. Some days I write decent things. Some days I write absolute garbage. And yet I write. And yet I look at it and I edit and I try to make it as nice as I possibly can. That's it. So, all right. How do y'all feel about closing with a little bit of stretching, my friends? Maybe I'll slightly move the camera if I can. There we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. Do y'all want to do some stretches? I mean, I'm gonna do them anyway, and I highly recommend it. You don't need anything. We're gonna be sitting right here, and all we'll do is just a few stretches to close the session. The PhD really pushed me to that. Hold on, I'm reading. It really pushed it to that way of thinking, and I've become more creative in general. Yay! I'm so glad. Thank you, Lindsay. I'm so glad that you were able to figure out the chat portion. I was trying to help you. Like, thank you for sending the message, and I was able to at least let you know that you should have access. So I'm glad that it worked out. Um, well, I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day. For those of you that have to step out, remember that this will be posted. So you can, if you wanted to do the stretching any other time, if you wanted to do some Pomodoro sprints any other time, there's going to be this session posted for you, as well as some others that have been posted in the past. So remember that if you ever want to be productive and you want to do that with me, you can join live on the Tuesday/Thursday sessions here, or you can grab a replay. That always helps. Not the same, but similar. All right, let's do a couple of stretches, my friends. If you are seated on a chair that has wheels, make sure that you lock the wheels. Otherwise, place your feet on the ground if possible and make yourself as grounded and stable as possible. Lengthen your spine, relax your shoulders, and let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose or the mouth. Inhale, roll your shoulders up toward your ears. Exhale, roll them back and down. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, shoulders a little bit forward and up. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. One more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. Lengthen your neck. Inhale. Exhale, start to bring either ear to the shoulder. Come back through center as you inhale. Take the other ear to the shoulder as you exhale. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, lower your chin down to the chest and stay here or interlace your hands behind the neck. Draw the elbows toward one another and round your back just a bit for a moment. And on your inhalation, lift your chest, take your elbows out, lift your gaze up, open through the throat a bit. Exhale, elbows forward, round your back and look down. Inhale to open up, lift up. Exhale to round and look down. One more. Inhale to open up. Exhale to round. Inhale, open up through the elbows, lift your chest. Exhale, set a twist toward the right, and then release the hands to where you can create some leverage and find either a deeper twist or a more stable twist, whatever works for you. But make sure that you can breathe wherever you are, in through the nose, out through the nose or the mouth. Notice the spiral of energy, the space for your breath. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Come back through center. Maybe you open your arms out to the sides. Deep breath in. And on the exhalation, now twist to the other side. You don't have to twist very far, just enough to feel the sensation you're seeking, to move some energy, to release some tension. One more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Come back through center now and just take a moment to roll your wrists in circles one way and then the other. You could do this with fists as well. It's up to you. And maybe you take this time to do the same with your ankles as well. Maybe you do one first and then the other. Making sure you go both ways. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, slowly move your fingers. Maybe shake it out. Roll around a bit. You could stand up and shake as well if that works for you. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, slow down the movement. Maybe rest your hands on your lap or your knees. Or perhaps you take a moment to bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly as you soften your gaze and close your eyes. Let yourself notice how you feel, not just after the movement, but after today's productivity and creativity session. Letting yourself not only think about perhaps where you feel like maybe you came short, but can you shift your attention to what you did well, to what you enjoyed, to what brought you some sort of sense of being aligned with who you are, with your values, with your work, your creativity. Inhale deeply. And exhale completely. And noticing how you feel physically, mentally, energetically. Take a moment to repeat within or without in whatever language resonates with you most. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Deep breath in. Sigh out. Release the hands. Let your eyes start to blink open. All right. I hope that you've enjoyed this last few stretches to close today's Pomodoro productivity creativity session. And yeah, like I find that it's such a good way to bring even more balance, right? It's just like one more of these short breaks to do something that benefits you when you are deep into focus work. So focus break, focus break, focus break, movement, music, shaking your body, going for a walk, right? There's so many things that we can do in small portions to bring more balance into our lives. So I hope that perhaps today you gain some tools, some ideas on how to do this for yourself, right? And these are just suggestions. This is just how I do it. I invite you to consider that there are as many ways to be productive and creative as there are people. These are just little tools and resources that you can adapt to what you need. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Yeah, always keep that in mind. All right, my friends, this is going to be all for me today. Again, remember that if you want to do this session again, the replay will be posted in a few hours. And you can also check out some of my other offerings that are already posted. Yeah, there's a couple other Pomodoro sessions. Also, if you want to join me live again, you can find the links in my latest post for two events that I have this weekend. That's if we count Friday as a weekend. Tomorrow, I will be having productivity sprints as well on Insight Timer. And then on Saturday, I have a community gathering as well on the same platform where we'll be talking about the entering into the new season. Whether you're in the northern or the southern hemisphere, it doesn't matter. The energy is, of shift, of change, and that's what we're going to be working on. I'll be sharing with you some journaling prompts, and there'll be lots of chit chat and community time. So I hope that you'll join us for that if you're able. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to share. Of course, if you have questions, feel free to message me here. You can always also send me a DM. And I think that's it for me for now. So thank you all for joining. I hope that this session was productive for you. I'm going to go on my evening walk. I don't think it's raining right now. It doesn't look like it is. So it seems like the perfect time to go for a little stroll, see the world, see people, maybe have my last coffee of the day because it's almost 6 p.m. And then get back to it tomorrow. So thank you all for being here. Sending you all the love. Until we meet again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and be well. Bye, everybody.